Do you think Marvel went, oh yeah, let's do Eternals. Nobody's going to beat us to that idea. And then they realized, oh my god, Netflix. Netflix beat us to that idea.
I strongly recommend that we leave right now.
Hey, you know Charlize Theron? Yeah, who normally just walks around on Earth looking like an absolute goddess. What if that? And then you just shove some men around her to be like, yeah, even in a world filled with immortals, she's still top dog. And just let her, like, stab things with a battle axe. Plot? What the fuck is that? The Old Guard stars Charlize Theron, Chiwetel Ejiofor, other people whose names are hard to say, and some guys who are still in love after 1,000 years. Oh, what a good gay romance. Anyway, she's the leader of a group of 4 immortal mercenaries who go around trying to help humanity out by just doing violent things, and and nobody ever questions if that's the right thing to do, by the way. It's fine. And Kiki Lane is the new immortal on board who comes to help them out and join the team, and they explain what's going on. Kind of. We get some backstory. We get a really cool backstory to all of this, and yet there's been no talk about ever doing like a prequel film where Charlize Theron just fights witch hunters. And that sounds so good. So their secret is discovered by this Dudley Dursley looking bastard who basically wants to data mine them to find the cure for death. And they must fight to survive. No, survival's the easy part. They gotta fight to stay free, yes. And the whole thing sounds like it could almost be the plot to a young adult fantasy novel, except that 2 of the 3 guys on the team are gay, so there's not a lot of room for Kiki Lane to be thrown into a love triangle when she joins the team. Unless Charlize Theron was part of the love triangle. It doesn't matter. It is a surprisingly dramatic action film. It does not have a lot of action for a 2-hour film, and also for some bizarre reason, all of the action scenes are scored like they're like a movie trailer, basically. Like, the songs are such bizarre choices to actually have in the film, and it keeps, like, random ones just keep popping up, and you go, oh, okay, why is that playing? It has got an excellent cast, great characters and world building. It's got the kind of emotional depth you've only seen in a single-digit number of action films, to be sure. I won't say it deals with the emotional weight of being literally immortal better than Eternals did, because I thought Eternals actually did all of that very well. But it is good at it, and the gay romance is one of the best you've seen in anything, probably. It's certainly in any big budget film. Like, it's crazy. In short, this is pretty much the golden goose that Netflix have been searching for years in an action film, something that they can just turn into quite a long-running action franchise. And it took them 5 years to make a sequel. What is this? The wait between Bridgerton seasons? The plot is kind of kooky and basic. The whole idea that their wounds stop healing when they get a lot older doesn't really hold up or get used once it would be inconvenient for there to be a scene where their wounds heal slower, but it's fine. There is just a lot about it that really works very well, I think, as a drama, and the world and the just basic idea behind it and the characters, all of that perfect. The soundtrack is kind of bizarre. The plot is quite, I really do like this, like, quite a lot. I surprised myself again rewatching it by going, no, this actually is really fun and cool and interesting. Maybe it is just the dark backstories that tease very fascinating spin-offs and prequels, which we will never get because Netflix budgets allow them to sit in warehouses and safe houses and complain about being immortal, but it doesn't really stretch to giant historical war fantasy films so much. But it just works for me. It just does something very interesting and different to the normal Netflix slop. This is one of the very few Netflix films that I could actually recommend people to check out, or, God forbid, actually rewatch. You know how many Netflix films I actually rewatched? Like 3? Well, if you don't count the Christmas ones, they're just fun trash. Ironically, I feel like this was a really great opener to a franchise, but there should have been a lot more of them. They should have been pumping them out every year or two. And I know COVID happened, but still, feels like a missed opportunity having waited 5 years. Anyway, it's not a masterpiece or anything like that, but it's something that's just got such a fun world and backstory and such fun characters and ideas behind it that even they elevated probably a little bit more than the execution deserves, or the actual plot of this film as a standalone deserves. That's, So I'm giving, by the time this sequel's released, they really will be the old guard 4 stars. I mean, Netflix have done so many, like, throwing shit action films at the wall and going, is that good enough for a franchise to us? They've released so many of those in between the first one and actually giving us a sequel. Like, but subscribe.